Earlier today, he met with the US Secretary of State, also a former army captain. Mike Pompeo described a new transformative relationship with Brazil, and he then went on to meet Brazil's new foreign minister, where they discussed the issue of Venezuela. Now, Bolsonaro is a nationalist. He is an avid user of social media, and of course, he despises political correctness. So comparisons have often been drawn between him and US President Donald Trump. But really, Brazil historically, while it's had cordial ties with the US, they've been nonetheless fairly cold, fairly not very profound. Really, Brazil has focused its energy on bilateral trade with China. China is now Brazil's biggest trading partner, and it'll be interesting to see how that trade dynamic plays out, given the trade war between the US and China. Already, China is buying more Brazilian soybeans to offset American trade tariffs.
I mean, Lucinda, if you will, talk us through some of these decrees which were made by Jair Bolsonaro.
Yeah, so ahead of that meeting today, he also issued several presidential decrees linked to agriculture and the economy. First was an increase of the monthly minimum wage here in Brazil by about the equivalent of 10 euros. But the second and more controversial, really, is the responsibility of how indigenous lands are demarcated, how they're divided up, which he's passed on to the Agriculture Ministry. Now, previously, a protection agency for indigenous groups, FUNAI, together with the Justice Ministry, was in charge of how this land was divided up, but they've been stripped of that job. Instead, FUNAI will become part of a bigger ministry for women, human rights and family that's headed up by an evangelical pastor. Now Mr. Bolsonaro's gone on to see his defence minister inaugurated, so it's been an extremely busy day all round today.